Hello students, let us start the second part of the lesson, packing. Then Harris packed the strawberry jam on top of a tomato and squashed it, and they had to pick out the tomato with a teaspoon. As in first part, we discussed up to this point that George and Harris started packing the hampers. They wanted to help their friend Jerome. That's why they decided packing the hampers, and they started breaking with a cup. And after that, Harris packed the strawberry jam on top of a tomato. He put the jam bottle on a tomato, and because of the weight of that bottle, the tomato was squashed. Squashed means crushed. And they had to pick out the tomato with a teaspoon. And after that, they picked up the tomato with a spoon as it was crushed. And then it was George's turn, and he trod on the butter. I didn't say anything, but I came over and sat on the edge of the table and washed them. Trod on means stepped on. Now it was the turn of George, and he put his foot on the butter, on the brick of the butter. George did not say anything to them. He just came there and sat on the edge of the table and kept watching them. It irritated them more than anything I could have said. Means when Jerome decided not to say anything to them, he was just watching them. It was also irritating his friends, George and Harris. I felt that. Jerome felt so that his friends were getting irritated with him. It made them nervous and excited, and they stepped on things and put things behind them, and then couldn't find them when they wanted them. And they packed the pies at the bottom and put heavy things on top and smashed the pies in. Now George and Harris were getting nervous as well as excited. They were stepping on things. They were keeping their feet on the things, then carrying the things and put them behind, and then couldn't find them when they wanted them, as they were picking up the things and putting them behind. And after that, when they wanted the things again, they were not able to find them. And they packed the pies at the bottom. As you know, pie is an eatable which is very soft, and they packed the pies at the bottom of the basket, and after that they put the heavy things on top. What will happen? The pies were smashed. They were also crushed. They upset salt over everything. And as for the butter, I never saw two men do more with 1 and 2 pence worth of butter in my whole life than they did. After George had got it off his slipper, they tried to put it in the kettle. Now what they did, they threw salt everywhere in the room. And what about butter? Jerome said that he never saw 1 or 2 men do more with 1 or 2 pence worth of butter in his whole life. Pence means that is a currency, as we use rupees in India. Pence is also a currency. So he never saw butter worth 1 or 2 pence in his whole life as they did with the butter. After George had got it off his slipper, means George put his slipper on the butter, and after that they tried to take it off from the slipper and tried to put it into the kettle. It wouldn't go in, and what was in wouldn't come out. They did scrape it out at last and put it down on a chair, and Harry sat on it and it stuck to him, and they went looking for it all over the room. Now as they were trying to remove the butter from the slipper and trying to put it into the kettle, it was very difficult for them to put it into the kettle, and what was inside the kettle, it was also difficult to take it out. But they did scrape it out at last. Scrape means drag or pull. They pulled the butter out from the kettle, and they put the brick of the butter on the chair. And after that, unknowingly, Harris sat on the chair and the butter stuck to him. And after that, they were looking for means searching for the butter all over the room. I'll take my oath, I put it down on that chair, said George, staring at the empty seat. I saw you do it myself not a minute ago, said Harris. Oath means to swear upon something. Then George said that he was ready to take an oath that he put the butter on the chair. Then Harris also said that he also saw him keeping the butter there on the chair. Then they started round the room again looking for it, and then they met again in the center and stared at one another. Now both George and Harris, they were looking for butter. They were taking round of the room and looking for butter, searching for butter in the room, and they met again in the center. Then they came again in the center of the room and they were staring one another. Most extraordinary thing I ever heard of, said George. So mysterious, said Harris. Now George said that it was very extraordinary thing that where had the butter gone. Then Harris was also surprised that it was so mysterious that where has the butter gone. Then George got round at the back of Harris and saw it. And finally George was taking round and suddenly he saw the butter at the back of Harris. Why, here it is all the time, he exclaimed indignantly. Indignantly means in a manner indicating anger or annoyance. Now George was angry and he said that here it was all the time at your back. Where? Cried Harris, spinning around. Now Harris was taking round and round and he was asking, where is the butter? Stand still, can't you? Roared George, flying after him. Then George asked him to stand still, and after that he moved at his back and they got it off and packed it in the teapot. And after that they removed the butter from the Harris bag and put it back into the teapot. Montmorency was in it all, of course. Now who is Montmorency? It is their pet dog, and he was also involved in the packing, of course. Montmorency's ambition in life is to get in the way and be sworn at. If he can squirm in anywhere where he particularly is not wanted and be a perfect nuisance and make people mad and have things thrown at his head, then he feels his day has not been wasted. Now sworn at means get scolded, squirm means to wriggle or twist one's body, and nuisance means to cause inconvenience or annoyance. Now what was the aim or target of Montmorency life? It was to make other annoyed and to disturb them and create inconvenience for them. Montmorency used to twist his body, roll his body, and he used to enter anywhere, particularly where he is not wanted, and become a perfect nuisance. Means he causes inconvenience to everyone and make people mad and have things thrown at his head. And he liked it when people used to go mad because of his nuisance activities and they throw things at his head, and after that he feels that his day has been made. To get somebody to stumble over him and curse him steadily for an hour is his highest aim and object, and when he has succeeded in accomplishing this, his conceit becomes quite unbearable. Here stumble means to trip over a hurdle, curse means scold, and conceit means his pride in himself. Here writer says that until anyone falls over a hurdle and scolds him for an hour, to Montmorency, he never felt satisfied. It was his highest aim and objective. He feels very pride in himself when he becomes intolerable for everyone. He came and sat down on things just when they were wanted to be packed, and he labored under the fixed belief that whenever Harris and George reached out their hands for anything, it was his cold, damp nose that they wanted. Now, what was Montmorency doing at that time? When George and Harris wanted to pick up the things to pack them, he just came and sat down on the things which they were just about to pick up for packing. And Montmorency used to put his cold and wet nose in between the things they wanted to pick up, as he was thinking that George and Harris wanted to touch his cold and wet nose. So it was very irritating for them. He put his leg into the jam and he worried the teaspoons, and he pretended that the lemons were rats and got into the hamper and killed 3 of them before Harris could land him with the frying pan. Here, worried means disturbed, pretended means to behave as if something is true when you know that it is not, and land him means hit or punch someone. Now, what else Montmorency was doing? He was just putting his leg into the jam, just he wanted to disturb George and Harris, and after that he was disturbing the teaspoons, means he was moving the teaspoons, and he pretended means he was just behaving, or he was just acting in the way that nobody knows about it, that the lemons were rats. Actually, he knew about it that these are lemons, but he was just pretending that these lemons are rats, and he got into the hamper and killed 3 of them before Harris could land him with the frying pan. Now Montmorency got into the hamper. He went inside the hamper and he killed 3 of the lemons. Killed 3 lemons means he squashed the 3 lemons, because he was pretending them as rats, as these lemons are rats, that's why he squashed the lemons. Now Harris, he just took a frying pan in his hand and hit Montmorency with that pan, because he was very angry with the activities of Montmorency. Harris said, "I encouraged him." "I didn't encourage him. A dog like that doesn't want any encouragement. It's the natural, original sin that is born in him that makes him do things like that." Now, Harris said, he was talking to Jerome now, that Jerome has encouraged the dog to do the things like this. Then Jerome said that he didn't encourage the dog. Actually, it is the basic nature of that dog, and for that he didn't need any encouragement. It is his natural instinct or behavior which is making him do things like that. The packing was done at 12:50 and Harris sat on the big hamper and said he hoped nothing would be found broken. Now the packing was done at 12:50 and after that Harris sat on the big hamper. And after sitting on the hamper, he hoped nothing would be found broken. How can it possible that a big man was sitting on the hamper where delicate things were packed inside, and he was hoping that nothing would be found broken? George said that if anything was broken, it was broken. Then he was taking it lightly, that if anything, because he was tired of packing now, so he said that if anything was broken, it was broken. He didn't mind it now, which reflection seemed to comfort him. Reflection means thought. Now this thought was just making him feel the comfort. That's why he was saying this. He also said he was ready for bed. We were all ready for bed. Harris was to sleep with us that night, and we went upstairs. We tossed for beds and Harris had to sleep with me. Now all the 3 friends were tired and they wanted to sleep, and Harris was to sleep with us that night, and they went upstairs, and after that they tossed for beds and Harris had to sleep with Jerome. He said, "Do you prefer the inside or the outside, Jay?" Then he asked Jerome that whether he would like to sleep inside or outside the bed. I said, I generally prefer to sleep inside a bed. Then Jerome said that he generally preferred to sleep inside. Harris said it was odd. Now it seemed strange to Harris. George said, "What time shall I wake you fellows?" Then George asked them that at what time he should wake them up in the morning. Harris said 7. I said no, 6, because I wanted to write some letters. Then Jerome said that no, they wanted to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning because he had to write some letters. Harris and I had a bit of a row over it, but at last split the difference and said 6:30. "Wake us at 6:30, George," we said. Bit of a row means an argument. There was an argument between Harris and Jerome, as Jerome was asking to wake him up in the morning at 6 o'clock and Harris wanted to wake up at 7. But at last split the difference. Split the difference means that they agreed on 6:30 because it was the halfway between 6 and 7. Then they asked George to wake them up at 6:30 in the morning. George made no answer, and we found on going over that he had been asleep for some time, so we placed the bath where he could tumble into it on getting out in the morning and went to bed ourselves. Tumble means to fall quickly and without control. Now George did not give any answer to Jerome and Harris because he already had slept. Now when they saw Jerome and Harris that George was sleeping, what did they do? They put a bathtub near the bed of George, so that when George will get up in the morning, he will just put his feet into the bathtub. It shows us that all the three friends are really very naughty and they enjoy every moment of their life. So this is the end of the lesson. Thank you so much.